Welcome to a new episode of Roxy's Write and Inspire. I'm recording this episode right after my 2-week digital Sabbath. It's interesting because I come back, open my inbox, and I get an email from Steve Magnus, who is a very, very much appreciated colleague. He's a coach and also an author. Yes, some of his work is, let's say, polarizing, but I love the way he looks at things from a very scientific and clear point of view. So today I'm going to read his email because this email, it was just basically a gift of heaven when it landed in my inbox. And it explains so well why I do this digital Sabbath. So I wanted to share it with you because I do think that a lot of us are frying our brains without knowing it. So let me read this email to you. The email is called Save Your Brain, a Digital Survival Guide. And the subtitle is Navigating the Modern Digital Landscape. Our brains are fried, or at least that's what it feels like for most of us. Chances are you've experienced at least one of the following. The first one is you sit down to read a book only to find that your brain is not complying. You read a paragraph but don't remember it a second later. Your attention can't stay focused and your mind keeps jumping from thought to thought. Or number 2, you're at dinner with your friends and family. Your phone is tucked away in your pocket, but every minute or so, your mind drifts off to what you have to do for work, what the score of the game is, or if that Instagram post has gotten any more likes. Your friends and family may even ask you if you are there, to which you reply yes, but their asking is proof that perhaps you aren't. Number 3, you're sitting down to work and feel a buzz in your pocket. You grab your phone, slide your finger to open it, only to see that there isn't a notification. Welcome to the phantom vibration. There's even a name for this forgetfulness and inability to focus. It's called digital dementia. There's no secret. Just about every one of us is on our phones or digital devices too much, ourselves included. We're losing the battle to the engineers who are designing devices and apps to keep us scrolling and pulling the digital slot machine. So remember, I'm reading this email, so I'm just going to read it exactly as it is. I have added the 1, 2, 3 to make it, let's say, more palatable in the format of a podcast. But if I say ourselves and everything, that is the email that I'm reading to you. What we want to cover below is how to fight back, how to tilt the battle on your favor just enough so you don't lose your mind to your phone. First, what's going on in your brain? A slew of research shows that our phones hamper our attention and cognitive capacity. We're pushed to a kind of partial attention filled with frequent task switching that prevents us from ever being deeply focused on any one thing. Our brain was not built for this. We suck at multitasking, yet our phones demand it. As a result, research shows that our working memory, our focus, and cognitive flexibility are impaired. If you set out to design a device for the sole purpose of deteriorating our attentional skills, it would be hard to beat an app-filled phone. Other research shows that constant task switching and information overload dysregulate our stress response. We end up getting frequent hits of stress without a true action to alleviate or act on it. It's like those rodent experiments where the mouse gets shocked but can't do anything about it and eventually succumbs to chronic fatigue. We are the mouse. This combination of cognitive decline and stress dysfunction explains why researchers found that the higher someone scores on a smartphone addiction scale, the worse they are at self-regulated learning, staying in the present, or experiencing flow. So what do we do about it? Number 1, out of sight, out of mind. A common tactic is to put your phone on silent or do not disturb. While this beats having notifications buzzing and beeping all the times, it's not much better. Researchers found that the mere presence of a phone, even if it's face down and off, tends to lower concentration and cognitive performance. In these experiments, scientists even used someone else's phone instead of the participants as the distraction. And guess what? Same impact, even though participants knew it wasn't their phone. Our environment invites action. We've trained our brains to think that the rectangular object is the most important thing in the world. It doesn't just represent social media or text messages. It's a reminder of all that we have to do and can do in the world. It's why even if your phone is on silent in your pocket, you can't stop thinking about the work you have to complete, though your kid is asking about your day. Your brain is designed to lock onto valuable information. For our ancient ancestors, it meant the rustling of the leaves that could signal danger, for example, a lurking mountain lion, or the person sitting across from you at the campfire, because your survival may depend on them at some point. Now it's your phone. If you want to break free for periods of deep focused time, you've got to remove it from sight altogether. Number 2, leave it out of the bedroom. Most of us charge our phones beside our beds. It's convenient as the phone acts as an alarm, but it also reinforces our addiction. Just think about it. The last thing we see before we go to bed and the first thing we grab for when we wake up is not a book, a diary, or our significant other. It's our phone. It's the ultimate addiction training. And it also makes sleep worse. In a longitudinal study on young adults, researchers found that nighttime phone use correlated with feeling stressed and depressed. Other research found that keeping your phone near your bed is associated with worse sleep. A review of research linked nighttime phone use to later bedtimes, longer sleep onset latency, shorter sleep duration, insomnia, reduced sleep quality, and daytime tiredness. And now I want to add something here because sleep is so important. Many people underrate sleep. So this is not a minor thing. All these things like shorter sleep duration, insomnia, they are huge. So back to the email. The best solution is the simplest. Move the phone out of the bedroom, far enough away so that even if you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you aren't tempted to be a degenerate and check your phone. For some, that means charging the phone in the closet. For others, that might mean downstairs in the kitchen. It might mean getting an analog alarm clock, or perhaps turning the ringer on loud while it's charging in the other room in case of emergency. Or maybe even get a separate pared down flip phone for emergencies only. But the point is that small inconveniences can be worked around. Number 3, observe a digital Sabbath. And here another note from me. This is exactly why I do this. I will be offline on Thursdays and Fridays every week, and once a year for 2 weeks, and sometimes even twice a year when I notice that my body and my soul demand it. So number 3, observe a digital Sabbath. Take a day or weekend off your phone. At first, this will be miserable. You'll be a kind of addict wanting nothing more than to check social media. But eventually, a kind of mental reset happens. Your brain lets go of the need to devote a larger portion of its cognitive resources to keeping track of your device. You learn to engage in the world again, to be okay with being bored, and to let your mind wander. It's not dissimilar from research that finds that spending a few days out in the wilderness has a restorative effect on attention and cognition. Scientists have found that nature does a great job of turning down the volume of the constant noise, novelty, and stimulation of urban and digital life. While nature might give you an extra boost, simply being without digital devices has a remarkable effect as is. If you can't handle locking up your phone, consider investing in a tool like The Brick. It's a simple device that locks specific apps on your phone, essentially turning it into something that only makes calls. In short, live like it's the 1990s again, even if it's just for a day. Number 4, read hard copy books. Over the past few months, we've been having a similar conversation with all of our closest author friends. Our ability to read feels like it is eroding after we've spent too much time on the internet. Our job is to read and write. Although we've spent a lifetime doing that, if we aren't careful, we quickly lose the ability to do so. It's not too dissimilar from research showing our ability to use maps or our internal navigation skills erodes without use. For many people, someone could drop you in the middle of your own city and you'd have a hard time getting back to home thanks to our collective over-reliance on phones and GPS. The same is true for books. Someone could hand you a great book in your living room, but if you're suffering from internet brain, quote unquote, you may not be able to read more than a page. The good news is that we can build back our attentional muscle with a little training. One of our best ways to do this is deep reading. Set aside a few blocks each week where it's just you and a book. Your brain might resist at first, but the more you get into it, the easier it becomes to find that groove again and focus on the task at hand. It's beneficial because reading is one of the greatest sources of knowledge, creativity, and joy there is. It's also beneficial because the ability to focus is increasingly becoming a competitive advantage in today's world. Short note from me here, that is exactly why I do what I do with my online courses, because it allows my clients or students to really focus on one thing at a time. As I've already addressed in past podcasts, also with NeurAL, I have a lot of students who have ADHD, and they have all reported that working with my courses, starting to focus on small mini challenges and ticking off those little progress parts step by step has helped them immensely to regain attention, to regain focus, and to work with their ADHD in a much more productive way. So number 5 is, back to the email, set aside daily time alone in your head. Go for a walk. You're probably listening to a podcast. You're out for a run, music blaring. At a stoplight while driving, a brief moment to check your DMs. On public transport, scrolling. Standing in line, can't be bored for a moment, grab the phone. We've replaced the times when we used to be forced to be alone in our heads with an instant adult pacifier, our phones. No need to feel restless, no need to be bored. The solution is always in our pocket. But if we never spend time alone in our heads, our very own minds become foreign to us, uncomfortable and unfamiliar places that our brains go on high alert to escape. We need to regain familiarity with our inner world. And let me say, as a psychological counselor, this is huge. I like to say to my clients, the harder it is, the more important it is. The harder it is to do something, the more you will learn. The more resistance you have the moment you start something, the more important it actually is. So back to the email. To develop interoception, or an ability to slice and dice apart the feelings we all experience instead of trying to push them away or avoid them. Pick something you do regularly and do it without external input. It doesn't have to be full-blown mindfulness meditation. It could be every time you wash the dishes, or leaving your phone at home when you go on a walk or run, or putting your phone in the glove box when you commute to work, or not pulling out your phone when at a restaurant and your dining partner gets up to use the restroom. These bite-sized moments are great training and very important. They remind your brain that you don't have to fill every second of nothingness with stimulation. You don't need to outsource your brain's attention and entertainment. There's a reason so many great scientists experience their breakthroughs on long walks. It's wild to imagine that if Darwin, Curie, or Einstein had been addicted to their phones, they may not have made their incredible leaps in thinking, and we'd all be suffering as a result. A recent article in the Financial Times asked if humans have passed peak brain power. We don't think there is anything internal that is inherently making us dumber, but our addiction to devices very well might be. So, with everything above, he concludes, think practical and good enough, not perfection. And yes, I want to add here, that is so important. It really is with mountain biking as well. Practical and good enough, not perfection, is going to keep you going. And I've addressed this many times in this podcast. So back to the email. When it comes to digital hygiene, too often we try hard to radically limit our use with a large dose of willpower. And then when that inevitably fails, we give up. We tell ourselves some version of, it's just the times we live in, while our kids, friends, or family notice us drifting off scrolling while we lay in bed or eat dinner instead of living the real world. The goal is not necessarily to shun all digital devices or rewind the clock to 1990. It's to place enough constraints in your life so that you can be creative and present, so that you own your phone instead of your phone owning you. It's pushing back just enough so that you can think deeply and focus intently again. Steve. Thanks for reading. This post is public, so feel free to share it, and that's what I did. I'm going to link this email below, and you can subscribe to his Substack or to his emails. I can fully recommend it. And of course, also I can recommend his books, Win the Inside Game or Do Hard Things. This is from Steve Magnus, as I said. And this email meant so much to me because it reinforced everything that I felt the last 2 weeks when I was offline. In the beginning, it is hard. We have these habits And as he also said in this email, the trigger is simply our phone, and we have the phone with us. And if the trigger is so widely available and triggers you to do something that is clearly not good for your brain, not good for your focus, and you keep doing it, you're going to keep reinforcing that behavior. And that's what I noticed, that it doesn't even take long. It was not even a day that I stopped even having my phone with me. I very often, we went somewhere and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot my phone. Because it can change quickly, because you notice how good it actually does, how much it helps you. For me now, I haven't been on Instagram for 2 weeks. I haven't been on any short form media. I only checked my personal email. And once a week, I did check my business email to see if there was like the house burning down or something that I really needed to address. But I noticed that even that pulled me out of so much creativity and so much peace I had found in the other time. So I really invite you to at least once a week take a day off of social media, because I noticed that it made me more creative. It made me happier with my life, with myself. It made me more grateful for the things I have anyway. And it made me reset my focus and, let's say, give me more deliberacy in setting my focus for the future, which, as we all know from my last podcast with Muriel, what we focus on is exactly what we will start noticing, how we will start behaving, and that will influence our future immensely. Just being out with my mountain bike without the need to film something, to post something, or to maybe even look what others are doing helped me immensely. I started enjoying mountain biking even more. I started enjoying my skills practice even more because I was doing it just for me. And for me, these digital Sabbaths I do every week for 1 or 2 days, and once a year for 1 or 2 weeks. They really are life-changing. So I wanted to share this with you. And also a big thank you to my patrons, because it wouldn't be possible without them. Without my patrons, without the lovely people supporting me on Patreon, none of these podcasts would be possible, and none of them would be ad-free, which means I would have to change how and why I do them. So thank you to my patrons, and thank you to you for listening. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you'll find the link below. Have a lovely day, morning, or evening. Goodbye.